I would like to thank one of my subscribers, Astarte Jones. Thank you so much for the video that you sent. I can't use the video because I tried and got flagged on it, and I believe I know why. But nevertheless, the story can still be told. So, ladies and gentlemen, in Mariupol, over in the Ukraine, there are uncollected corpses everywhere on the ground. This reminds me of Jeremiah 25, verse 33. And if you don't know what that verse is, please go look it up. Go look up that scripture. All right. So in Mariupol, daily life is a series of harrowing escapes from bomb blasts and basic survival rituals amid the rubble that lies everywhere. Uncollected corpses wrapped in blankets, coats, or anything available to cover them in courtyards, clear, of debris. So these are people that were killed, and most of the time they are buried, but there's nobody to collect these bodies, right? And I want y'all to think about another thing. When it's this bad, where corpses cannot be collected and people are just being shuffled around from one location to another, the famine is about to hit, starvation over in Ukraine, if it hasn't already started. You know, yeah, you have some people that made it out to Poland, but there's a lot of people left that are now being cut off from food sources because it's being bombed. So, all around are blackened shells of the sprawling towers, block typically of the Soviet era dwellings, twisted metal on balconies, shattered windows, wood, metal, and other wreckage scattered between buildings and in streets. Some 400,000 people have been trapped in the strategic port city of the Sea of Azov for more than 2 weeks. Yes, any city that's captured by the Russians, these people, they can't leave. They're pretty much trapped there. And yeah, so it's hard for these people to leave when they're being heavily bombarded constantly, which is what's going on. So they said they are severed from central supplies of electricity, heat, and water, according to local authorities. Yes, because I saw a video even about a week ago, and they were talking about how cold it was. And they're freezing constantly, and that's because they don't have heat anymore. They don't have any heat, and some places don't have water, and if it's heavily shelled, they don't have electricity. Russia's defense ministry said on Friday that its forces were tightening the noose around Mariupol and that fighting had reached the city center. With no running water or heat, women crouching around makeshift barbecues to cook whatever food they can find. As spring approaches, there is no longer any snow to melt for drinking water. Residents said no one expected this in post-Soviet Ukraine. An unrelenting onslaught from what was thought of as fraternal Russia. Through this is where people live, and they are saying they're shocked by the upheaval that jolted the country back under Soviet rule. And one man, he said his mother-in-law was killed, and she was laying on the ground, and all they could find was a old door to place on top of her body. And he said, she had a Russian passport, Russian citizenship, lots of metal, and she was killed. his wife's mother. My mother in law was born in 1936. She survived through the siege of Leningrad, offering a 900-day Nazi encirclement of the city, now known as St. Petersburg. So, well, she's gone now. Officials in Mariupol said 2,500 people have died since Russian forces poured across the Ukrainian border on February 24th. So they said in the city, 35,000 managed to leave the city in recent days, many on foot or in convoys of private cars during the rare moments when Russian shelling subsided. Those left occasionally verge on despair, the cold and the anxiety taking their toll. I feel terrible. I don't know. I don't want to blame anybody, but I'm disgusted and scared, and I'm cold, said one woman named Olga, who wore a pink hat under a hoodie and a big coat. I just don't have any words. I wasn't ready for my life to become like this. Russia denies targeting civilians. Well, they do that in all wars. Come on. They always deny targeting civilians, but if you look historically at all wars, civilians have always been targeted. Mariupol is seen as a strategic prize for the Russian invaders to collect a bridge between Crimea, annexed by Moscow in 2014. Because y'all remember, Russia went in there before and they took over Crimea. Maternity hospital was bombed last week, sending patients fleeing into the street. A theater was used to shelter families forced from their homes, was struck despite the word children being written outside in letters. So they wrote outside of this theater that children were in there, and it still got shelled. A sense of solidarity among the residents, fearing for their lives, has taken hold. Strangers take in other strangers. We spent 2 days in the basement. She couldn't move. I thought she wouldn't survive, said one middle aged resident, gesturing to her elderly mother. Wow. I mean, these people are just staying wherever they can. You know, they are staying wherever they can. We managed to leave the basement. This is the first time I've seen these people, but they sheltered us. And here we are sitting here covered in blankets. It's very cold here. We want to go home. Children looked on, uncomprehending. Don't worry, my little darling, everything will be all right. Mm. Out in the courtyard, groups of men milled about aimlessly, surveying the shattered buildings, and around them lay bodies. The only thing identifying them are scraps, pieces of paper where family wrote their name, the time they were born, and the time of their death. It's just on top of bodies. Mm-mm-mm. And they have made makeshift crosses, and each bearing the name and date of birth and death. No indication when they will be collected. Wow. you know but this is what war is. This is the reality of war, you know and you can best believe by the time they get around to collecting these bodies, if they ever do, they may not get around to it, y'all. They may not get around to it. And if this thing turn into nuclear war, you can best believe nobody will be collected. Okay, People will be dealing with nuclear fallout, and they're still saying that this can turn into a nuclear war. And I saw another article a few days that said Russia admits they've already used hypersonic missiles in Ukraine. They used at least one. And trust me, it's going to be more than one. So the future right now for these people, it sure ain't bright. That's for sure. And y'all, I had a person that had a problem with me saying, things about the rapture that didn't happen. And they were upset. And here's my thing. And here's my response back to you. Y'all put that out there that you were going to be raptured away. I don't know what you're mad at me for. A lot of people are raising the issue about your rapture doctrine, a doctrine that's not even in a Bible. It's not even biblical. It's not any kind of prophecy. It's just stuff that y'all made up to make yourselves feel better. I mean, yeah, people are going to point that out. Y'all ran around here for years claiming that doctrine. And as you can see, it ain't folding out the way that you claim it would. These people are not being raptured. They're running for their lives. They're trying to survive. Nobody is taking them out of here. And you see that now. So don't be mad at Lisa Cabrera. Be mad at the people that told you that in the first place, that you were going to be raptured away from any problems. That's who you be mad at. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.